Hi, my name's Gary Heise, and this little demo is meant as a supplement to a workshop that I'm giving on Chinese landscape painting in the freestyle mode. I wanted to start off showing the rather classical work of landscape painter Huang Gongwang of the Yuan dynasty. This is a small excerpt from a long hand scroll he did known as Dwelling in the Fujian Mountains. Here's his name. But the overall effect is this beautiful, elegant, organized, structured landscape. And the brushwork itself relies on calligraphic models and is largely linear and built up in that manner. We're starting off in this way to give an idea of stone and mountain and hill structure, and then I'll show you how to use that information for a freestyle method. As you can see, the brushwork itself is almost entirely linear. A little thickness, a variation in the thickness of the stroke really is doing the most of the work here, as opposed to working in washes and tonalities in that way. This is a rather quick model for you to get an idea. Okay, so that's the general idea for rocks and earth form, and hills and mountains are really built up in the same way. Do not simply outline and then fill in. Start in the middle and then build outward from the smaller hills. We're working rather quickly here just to give you the notion of how to put this all together. These trees are quite rudimentary. And in the blackest ink, just some dots. They represent moss, or on distances, they represent trees. Okay. The other approach, I like to use a mixed hair brush that combines fairly stiff with soft hairs combined. So you bounce it on top of a plate, you can separate those hairs. Working with a wet brush, just dip one small end of it into the ink. Working on an unsized Schwan paper here, so it's quite absorbent. Going back with a smaller brush. And there you have it. It's essentially taking an academic style and then using it in a much looser, more organic way, using the totality of the brush, the side, not just strictly sticking to an upright brush method. The basic approach when painting trees is the same as painting a single branch. We want to show the strength and growth and vitality of the branch and the tree, and that is not by outlining the branches, but simply the brush stroke becoming the branch itself. I'm going to start off by showing just a single branch, and the process is simply this. The brush is held somewhat on the side at an oblique angle so that more of that brush is touching the paper, and as it proceeds I'm twisting it and straightening out to use more of the tip. So we start off with a broad stroke that gets thinner and thinner as we go. I'll show you what that will look like. So as the brush goes along, it's going to have starts and stops. Those are periods of growth. Well, here we go. Those stops are the points where the next branch will start. Already you can see the strength there in the branch. Whoop. Okay, I think you get the idea. Now for painting a single tree, we're going to do something that's going to be in the midground. If it was much closer, you'd see individual leaves. We'd simply take an aspect or a portion of some branches and then work from there. But we're going to do a whole tree, as if it's in the midground or even background in your painting. Forget to apply a special strength to the crotch of the branches where they break. just start off. Just start from there. Then we're going to apply some, or rather suggest, some foliage. So I'm dipping the brush in some light ink and a little bit of darker ink at the tip. And just lay down some masses. Dipping it back up into some light ink. Don't fill it all in. Leave some air, leave some dry brush. You can always go back into it a little bit. And at this point, we'll bring in the rest of those branches of what we can see through the leaves. Now when that's nearly dry, if we want, we can bring in a little bit of color. But for this demonstration, I think this is sufficient. Just a couple rocks beneath it. Have fun with the ink. You know, let the moist ink bleed into the darker areas, but control that where you want to have it. Now, if we're doing trees in the further distance, just like we saw in the Huang Gongwang painting, just simplify. Keep the forms clear and organized. Do a couple pine trees. And in the real distance, just a small grove of trees. That's it. Don't overwork it, don't overthink it. Alrighty, thank you.